Alright guys, by now you should have developed 5 level 2 questions and 3 level 3 questions based on Bloom's taxonomy. Next we're going to look at reading traditions. Scholars have placed different authors into different time eras, and the way that they write, themes that they talk about, ideas that they discuss, into specific traditions. Naturalism is a tradition of writing that stems from the realist tradition. I know I'm using tradition a lot, but bear with me here. I'm going to explain this so that hopefully you'll be able to understand a little bit better. So what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at naturalism. Both Mark Twain and Stephen Crane, who was the author of The Open Boat, wrote in the realist tradition. Okay, the realist tradition appeared in the late 19th century, sometime around the Civil War to 1914. Okay. It differs from the romantic tradition, which took place in the 1800s to around 1860. Okay, because it depicts life accurately. Okay, this is the facts of life. No pun intended for the television show, that you guys wouldn't know that. Okay. Romantic literature is based on the conviction that intuition, emotion, imagination are superior to reason. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and go back. I'm going to put that in a different color because that'll be something that we might look at later on if we have some time this year. If not, you'll know this for future purposes. Romantic literature is based on the conviction that intuition, emotion, imagination are superior to reason. Okay, this is where you get our Edgar Allan Poe, our Nathaniel Hawthornes, our Herman Melvilles. Those should be pretty famous authors for you guys. This deals with our sixth sense. Okay, that idea that something is watching over us. Okay, and it's our intuition, emotion. It does a lot in the spooky area, or in the area that life is beautiful and through rose-colored glasses type of idea. Sixth sense, we're looking at romantic. It doesn't always mean lovey-dovey, and that was one of the things that I got confused about when I first started studying literature, is it's not like that. Okay. On the other hand, realism is, as its name implies, it's based on reality. Okay. Realism, reality. Realist literature generally takes one of two directions. We're looking at the direction of Mark Twain, okay, who satirizes human behavior and social ill. Now, what is satire? Satire makes fun or makes light of serious issues. Okay, we're looking at Huckleberry Finn. And Mark Twain, or Tom Sawyer. Not Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer. Okay, both of these generally look at the idea of slavery. And he uses comedy in his writings to help you see that, you know, it's a serious issue, but this is kind of how we see things. The naturalist direction now is the actual direction in which the Open Boat took place in. Okay, you're looking at this idea of an interrelationship. Oops, that was good. Interrelationship between man and nature, seeing humanity as relatively insignificant with this universe. And this is really the general idea kind of like an ant in an anthill, okay? We're not very significant in this universe as the idea is brought about in a naturalist writing, okay? Characters act due to internal forces, heredity, survival, and the environment, okay? How does a person survive? One of the best naturalistic movies that I can tell you, goodness, Castaway. I had to think for a minute. Castaway, Tom Hanks. He has to figure out how to survive. He has to use what he has in order to make his world, and he survives. He uses Wilson, which is a ball that he gets from his shipwreck or his plane crash, as his companion. And when he loses that companion, he grieves over him. He cries, and it hurts him so much that he gets another Wilson later, okay? What is it for us to survive in our environment, okay? We as humans are subject to laws of nature beyond our control, okay? What is within our control? While reading The Open Boat, notice how Crane depicts humanity confronting the power of nature. So, back again, I'm going to reverse just a little bit or go back. Humanity is relatively insignificant within the universe. For me, I want to make a note that humans are kind of like ants in an anthill. I just keep going back to that idea. Okay. How would we inborn need to survive? Okay. Ideas beyond our control. Natural elements. Being the thing we fight. Okay. And then the idea of nature as antagonist. Okay. So looking at this now, you have some notes that are going on. We have the Civil War to 1914, okay, is going to be your realist tradition. It's just for clarity purposes. Romantic literature takes place in the 1800s to 1860. Realist literature deals with the facts of life, what it is to live in this life, where romantic literature deals with your intuition, your sixth sense. It's a romantic idea behind life and what could possibly be that we don't see. Realism is rooted in reality. Authors that are famous for this, Mark Twain, who satirizes human behavior, social ills. He makes light of serious issues. Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, dealing with slavery, is an example. The naturalist directions considers the interrelationship between man and nature. Humanity as relatively insignificant within the universe, kind of like an ant in an anthill. The hereditary are internal forces, the need to survive, and the environment, okay? Subject to laws of nature beyond their control. We are definitely subject to laws of nature beyond our control. Think of tornadoes, think of fires, think of mudslides, those kinds of things. We can't control that. How do we respond to them? Okay. The Open Boat, Crane definitely depicts humanity confronting a power of nature. Nature as the antagonist here. What are these men fighting against? Basic survival, okay? Good example of a naturalist movie where definitely literature and action, or movies are definitely literature and action, is going to be Castaway with Tom Hanks, and how he survives. I think 90% of the movie doesn't have any talking in it, but you're watching him surviving, and it's definitely a great example of naturalism. I hope this helped. I do want to see your notes over this, and I hope you gather some things, and that is going to be your next assignment for me. So make sure you get those turned in. Take a picture of them, upload them to your classroom so that I can see them. And then you can keep your notes with you. And if it's not uploaded, it's not going to be graded. So you better make sure that's taken care of. And I will see you here in just a little bit. Thanks.